Aussitôt, la prochaine qui va intervenir, c'est notre ami William Ging Wee Dere. He is the author of the award-winning Being Chinese in Canada, The Struggle for Identity, Redress and Belonging, published by Douglas and McIntyre in 2019. He was an anti-imperialist political organizer and was also a leading activist in the two-decade movement for redress of the Chinese head tax and Exclusion Act. He's a member of the Progressive Chinese of Quebec.
Good evening. Just want to start by saying thank you, Radhika, for writing this book. It's not just an important book, but a necessary book to make sense of the fast-changing and developing international situation. The title, Capitalism, Coronavirus, and War, illustrates a very comprehensive work describing the twists and turns in the development of Western capitalism as a dialectical opposite to the international struggles for independence, liberation, and revolution. You also point out that the outlook on the international situation is somewhat bleak with the warlike policies of US imperialism, if it were not for the peaceful examples of socialist countries like China. Being an anti-Trotskyist, I was amused by a quotation from Trotsky in 1938, that the prerequisite of proletarian revolution have become rotten. This quote applies now more than ever. And I want to focus on your excellent polemic against the Western left that seems to be constantly engaging in defensive battles against social progress and anti-imperialism. As an old leftist myself, I can appreciate your exposure of social democracy's successful integration of neoliberalism to the workers' movement. Here in Quebec, it reminds me of the Parti Québécois government in 1981. The PQ is a self-declared social democratic party, although it was kept out of the Socialist International by the NDP. The PQ went all in on neoliberalism when it attacked government workers, teachers, and nurses to roll back their wages in 1982. So in the eyes of some in the unionized base, the PQ was exposed as a neoliberal party. Throughout the book, you criticize the failed programs of the establishment left parties like the NDP. I want to focus on this aspect because I feel we need to overcome their unrepentant posturing to maintain the capitalist and imperialist system. We need to do this to win over more people to advance progressive struggles domestically and internationally. Despite the success of socialist countries, especially China, in the fight against COVID-19, you wrote that the Western left treats the success of China, Vietnam, Cuba, and others with disdain. China has eliminated poverty for over 800 million people, which is an amazing accomplishment in history. It is helping other developing countries in the third world with building their infrastructure through the Belt and Roadway Initiative, the Belt and Road Initiative. It is on the front lines to safeguard world peace by opposing hegemonic designs of US imperialism in places like Ukraine, Taiwan, and in the expansion of NATO into Asia. And yet, the propagandized Western left sees China as a threat and an enemy. The NDP and other social democratic forces have the organizational base to carry on their work. But as you point out, they leave working people without serious political representation. You also say that a lack of anti-imperialist, socialist, and revolutionary theory and organization have led the progressive forces in the West in shambles. Your book offers a great theoretical and analytical foundation to expose social democracy, but there is also a need for organization and action. My question is, and I guess it's somewhat like what is to be done. My question is, do you think that it is possible to organize a truly progressive left organization to oppose the entrenched neoliberalism in Canada and to fight Canadian and US imperialism around the world? And in practice, how would you go about doing this? Thank you.
I'm Michael Hudson. I'm appearing here for the International Manifesto Group. If you like this video and ones like it, please subscribe. For more information, go to the address on the screen.